What is up, guys? So this is module 15 of the stem leaf method, and this is part of the leaf structure. Okay, so guys, in terms of like listening to a non-committal language, you're gonna like we've all been communicating since we were like fucking 6 months old, to some degree, and understanding. Being able to read people's voices, being able to read people's faces and things like that. That's just what we do. We just got like a radar that's going off. There's a good book called Thinking Slow and Fast, or Fast and Slow, I think it's called. And what I was quite impressed with that book is that you've got this like sensor that's going off that is almost like your subconscious out there, bum 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 bum, just reading the room, so to speak. Yeah. And what I really want from like this the stem and leaf method is when you've done your research, understanding your avatar, what they say, what they don't say, is that's going to really help you prime it. And this is where kind of when you hear non-committal language, not only are you going to be running through like the kind of more direct stuff that I'm talking here, but like great questions as well would be kind of like, what's your thoughts on that? What's your take on that? Like, how do you feel? Like, these are called like tie-in questions in the presentation, yeah? Because what you're doing is like you're sending a little ping out into the ecosystem, yeah, into the conversation, as if you will, into the subconscious realm. And what you're doing is you're reading the feedback, just like a radar would just like you'd be able to see on your screen then what response you're getting. And ask yourself, like, what is it? Like, is it like a positive response? Is it a confused response? Is it like, I'm not really selling this person, there's just something they're not saying? And you're far better off just saying, look, just slow down. Like, you don't sound like there's a lot of buy-in here at the moment, Fred. Like, just help me understand, like, is there some sort of disconnect? You just don't know until you ask. They just could be having like a shit day. The dog could have died, or they just could have like had a shitty email just come in or something like that, yeah. And we don't know until we get that clarity. But then, of course, it's useful to clarify, but it's also useful to follow our sixth sense, because generally a lot of the time our gut feeling is correct, yeah, because that's the mechanism where this sensor really kicks in. So, like, for me to list the million and one ways where you're going to find non-committal language is going to be an ongoing thing on this project. And when there is stuff, I'll add it to the actual to the modules just for your benefit. But these are 4 examples that kind of like spring off the top of the head. And somebody says, yeah, I think it could work. Okay, now this is a bit of a minefield, because some people use the word think. I use think a lot, and I'm quite a direct person. I'll not, like, if something doesn't make sense, I'll say, no, that doesn't make sense. Or if I don't want to do something, I'll say, look, great idea, wrong time, whatever. But when somebody says it, that when somebody in a certain context, especially if you don't know them, they say, I think it can work. Like, you say you think, is there some sort of, you don't sound too sure what's behind that, or that you think it may work? Is it something like, do you feel like it can, or do you feel like there's a reason that it can't? So make sure you get that clarity, yeah? Second example, okay, yeah, well I'll try. Okay, so it's worth having that, in more biz-oppy conversations. Like, if we say we will try, we'll give ourselves an out. But then if we say I will, it's a different story. So are you open to changing your language to change your outcomes? Yeah. So basically, if the person's just constantly like putting distance between themselves and the potentiality of it working, they're just kind of, that annoying sort of element of the prospects, depending what offer you're on. Some you may not get it at all. Some people, that's all you get day in, day out. Like in a fitness offer, you're just going to hear it all day in, yeah? All day on, all day out. Then you just got to pick up on that and says, well, like, if you're going to try, are you going to commit to doing it though? Or are you just going to maybe think about it? Like, where are we with this? Yeah? Because, and then there's the 180 then, because like this course has worked for hundreds of people. We're not the biggest variable. Like the content is not the biggest variable, it's the commitment that somebody will show to actually implementing X and Y and Z, and we can hold you to account. But at the end of the day, the effort's got to come from you. And like, I'd be doing you a disservice if I brought you into a program that's not going to work for you and it's going to waste your time, because you're not at a stage right now where you're committed to actually taking the action and do the work. So where are we with this, man? Just be completely real with me. Yeah, just push it back on them. So I don't, I don't really mind if I get there. Okay, may I make an observation? I'm concerned that your language is a manifestation of your mindset. Would you hear influencer or successful person turning up in the office and prepping the team saying, hey guys, really don't care if we hit our goals this month? Do you know what sort of outcomes are they going to get? So are you open to changing your mental language to change your outcomes? Yeah, similar sort of vein to what I just said there. You're just calling them on it. And this is like really important, guys, because it's, if you don't, they're just going to keep going, and there's going to be a big fat think about it at the end of the call, because you've not really challenged the language. Yeah, it sounds okay. Lucy, can I be honest? You can be as honest as you want. Does this resonate with you? Because when people say it sounds okay, they're not future pacing, they're not buying into it. They're saying to it, it's almost like they're evaluating it in their own head. Yeah, and they're not really convinced. So, like I said, guys, there's a million and one ways that somebody can really not give you the buy-in that you want, but it's up to us then to really challenge it. But don't do it in a way that is combative, because otherwise, you could be strong and assertive, but read the room with it, and always make sure that you got the person's best interests in mind. I would be doing you a disservice if you weren't in a place where you're ready to commit to something, and it wasted your time, but it also wasted the time of the coaches or wasted time of the team. So you can just be honest as possible with me, Lucy. Like, just be straight down the line. Where are we with this? Are you committed to doing this? Yeah, hell of a line. Are you committed to doing this? And once they say yeah, then they're really in the shit. All right. Okay, guys, hope you enjoyed. Look forward to seeing you in the next session.